I want to start, as I showed you those shocking visuals which came in from Uttar Pradesh earlier. These visuals were of the block-level elections in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Let me just, ladies and gentlemen, just describe these visuals one by one for you. This massive violence that took place in Lakhimpur Kheri. First one, in Lakhimpur Kheri, a woman, Samajwadi Party candidate, was assaulted by some BJP workers while she was going inside the centre to file her nomination. Just take a look at what is happening here. Huge intimidation tactics being employed in these elections. In these images, it can be seen that her sari was being pulled by some alleged BJP workers. It was only the intervention of locals that saved her. Now, just move to image number 2. In Gorakhpur, stones were pelted on BJP nominee Vandana Singh's convoy. Some BJP workers were injured in the violence. So it's not, you can't squarely just blame the ruling party. It has been whosoever had the upper hand in whatever region used these tactics to intimidate their opponents. Now to move to Sitapur, where violence was witnessed on the streets when independent candidate Guddi Devi supporters clashed with the BJP workers. Gunshots are heard, makeshift bombs are hurled at each other. 3 people were injured and 4 after this violent clash were also arrested by the Uttar Pradesh police. Now let's move to Jaunpur. Similar scenes were witnessed there. Hundreds of opposing groups clashed on the streets. The aftermath was that many cars were burnt, broken, some turned turtle. And it's not even the assembly election, it is the Zilla block level election which is taking place in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Shameful. Right now, Priyanka Gandhi lashes out at Yogi Adityanath government. In fact, on the violence before the block polls. In a tweet, Priyanka Gandhi said Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath are both acting blind to the widespread violence in Uttar Pradesh. Remember when every incident of stone pelting and violence before the elections in the state of West Bengal used to garner so much political heat from top brass of the BJP. Now Priyanka Gandhi accusing that in Uttar Pradesh now there is violence taking place and there has been absolutely zero reaction coming in from the top brass of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Going across to my colleague Abhishek, who is joining me with more details on this story. Abhishek, this is quite shameful. I mean, these are block level elections and the kind of violence that we are seeing completely lays threadbare the law and order situation in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Has the government or the top police officials reacted to this? What have they said?
Well, absolutely, Ankit. And what are the visuals is evident. The way, the candidates and the supporters of SP and BSP were in front of each other, not in 1, 2, almost 15 to 16 districts where the violence reports have come up. And at the same time, as of now, none of the ministers have spoken about it. But at the same time, ADG Law and Order, Prashant Kumar has said that there were some complaints and case has been registered. But at the same time, it has also been made clear that, to make sure that this kind of picture is not repeated again. But specifically during the nomination, it was quite evident the way the things were happening. And at the same time, it has been also been said that the government, the Samajwadi Party accusing the government, saying that they were not allowing their candidates to file the nomination. So this has come up at a very crucial time, but with unfortunate incidents happening in all these districts, it is clearly an indication that these block elections has become very important, not only for the ruling party, but at the same time, how the SP is now alleging with the fact what has happened in these districts, violence and a lot of complaints over the nominations. Yes.
Thank you, Abhishek, for joining us with all those details. I'm staying put with Uttar Pradesh, keeping our focus on the state of Uttar Pradesh, because there was a very clear indication in the massive rejig that Prime Minister Narendra Modi did in his cabinet yesterday. 7 ministers have been inducted from the state of Uttar Pradesh. The caste equations, balancing the entire caste equation ahead of the 2022 Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections seem to be the big focus. 3 OBCs, 3 Dalits and 1 Brahmin leader has also found place in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's new cabinet. How is it going to have an impact on the upcoming 2022 Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections? Take a look at this report.
मंत्रिमंडल के सदस्यों का
With the battle for Uttar Pradesh less than 6 months away, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has attempted a bit of social engineering. 7 new faces from India's most popular state are now part of Team Modi. 2 years after being dropped from the Modi cabinet, Apna Dal Sonelal leader Anupriya Patel makes a comeback into the government.
कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित
A prominent Kurmi face in eastern UP, Patel is a key BJP ally in the Saffron Party's 2022 mission UP. BJP MP from reserved constituency Agra, SP Singh Baghel gives representation to Dalits, who have backed the party in recent elections.
प्रोफेसर SP सिंह बघेल ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित
The BJP has tried to include a mix of Brahmin and OBC faces from Uttar Pradesh, one of the deciding factors in the upcoming assembly elections. In doing so, the party has tried to blunt accusation of Thakur bias under Yogi Adityanath government in UP. But Nishad party isn't happy with Prime Minister Modi's cabinet arithmetic. They say exclusion of Praveen Nishad from Prime Minister's cabinet is a betrayal to the whole Nishad community.
निषाद अब आज के मतलब सोच रहे हैं कि धोखा हो रहा है, जो पिछली सरकारों ने धोखा दिया वही धोखा मिल रहा है। हम तो संयम से बैठे हुए हैं, धैर्य से बैठे हुए अपने आरक्षण के लिए कि सरकारों का दर्द दिल में है, दगाबाज सरकारों का दर्द दिल में है और जो है आज दिल मुश्किल में है।
With the induction of 7 new ministers, including the ally partner, BJP has balanced the caste arithmetic in view of the UP Assembly elections. With the election just months away, the central leadership has taken the step towards targeting the battle for 2022. In Lucknow, Abhishek Mishra for India Today.
Though that report was giving you a sense and explaining why, what is the reason behind all these faces from Uttar Pradesh being in fact inducted into this entire mix of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's new cabinet, let me just one by one go across and give you a sense of what these leaders bring on the table. Anupriya Patel, prominent Kurmi face, she is from Eastern UP, and Kurmis, ladies and gentlemen, are the second highest OBCs as far as the demographic of Uttar Pradesh is concerned. So this gives this whole balancing act, trying to find the balance between all the various caste dynamics prevailing in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Now, Pankaj Chaudhary is a 6th-term MP from Maharajganj. He's an OBC face, and he's also a Kurmi face with clout in the Gorakhpur region. So that's what Pankaj Chaudhary brings onto the table. B.L. Verma is an OBC leader who belongs to the Lodhi caste, as you can see right now on your screens. And he has been Uttar Pradesh BJP's vice president since 2018. Kaushal Kishore is from Mohanlalganj constituency. He's a prominent Dalit face and belongs, in fact, to the Parsi community. Bhanu Pratap Verma is also a Dalit face from Bundelkhand region, belongs to the Kori community. SP Singh Baghel is a prominent Dalit face, as you can see, and he is 5-term MP from Agra. He was a minister he has served as a minister in the Yogi Adityanath government as well. Ajay Mishra is the lone Brahmin face from Lakhimpur Kheri. He is the MP from there, and Brahmins account for about 11% of the entire population. And so much buzz about Jitin Prasada, who was inducted very recently, that he's the Brahmin face, but a clear indication being sent there as well. Ajay Mishra, very interestingly, is from the constituency adjoining Jitin Prasada's constituency or area of influence as well. All right, let's very quickly now, before I go across to Rahul Srivastav to decode this entire matrix more, listen in to all these ministers, those who are from Uttar Pradesh, taking charge for the first day. What all did they say? Listen in.
मुझे सबसे पहले तो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को मेरी पार्टी अपना दल की ओर से बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करना है कि उन्होंने मुझे दूसरी बार ये अवसर दिया है। और एक बहुत ही अच्छा विभाग है, मेरे लिए नया विभाग है, एक लर्निंग अपॉर्चुनिटी है, बहुत कुछ सीखने का अवसर भी होगा। मैं स्वयं महिला हूँ और मेरा ये मानना है कि हमारे जितने भी राज्यों के सदन हैं और हमारे देश का जो सदन है, हमारी लोकसभा, राज्यसभा और इसके साथ ही साथ हमारे जो मंत्री परिषद है उसमें महिलाओं की अधिक से अधिक भागीदारी होनी चाहिए।
Let me now bring in National Affairs Editor, India Today, Rahul Srivastav, who is joining us at this moment on the broadcast. Rahul, I just want to understand from you, it's a very clear imprint of how Prime Minister Narendra Modi in this cabinet rejig has also, apart from, bringing in new talent, new energy, has tried to very smartly balance out the equations, caste dynamics in poll-bound state, and especially the focus on Uttar Pradesh. What are the hopes of the BJP after this rejig? What do they hope to gain by inducting these 7 faces?
Ankit, politics, despite all its complexity, is a very simple space also at times, because all they want to do is come back to power. Now, 2014, 2017, 2019, 3 elections, 2 Lok Sabha and 1 assembly election in UP. BJP had a dream run. There were large segments of Dalits unhappy with Mayavati as a Dalit leader. There were several OBC communities unhappy with Akhilesh Yadav's party as a OBC leader. The MBCs were totally against, they were totally marginalized. The upper caste was feeling totally out of power. So the BJP eventually managed to build a wonderful rainbow coalition of demographies by also doing some very strong on the ground small coalitions with, say, parties like Apna Dal, Nishad Party, the Rajbhar Party and others. Over the last 4.5 years under Yogi Adityanath, upper caste leader, and that even if he does not do things, that does lead to resentment among sections in UP. That's how sensitive caste and political equations are in UP. That entire equation is in disarray. And that is why you see leaders being brought into the Council of Ministers, leaders being sent to UP, RSS camping there, and Yogi Adityanath changing tack by going to the house of the Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Maurya for the first time in 4.5 years. Ankit, the important factor is that the entire Modi politics has changing.
Yes.
The BJP under Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Advani was an upper caste party.
Yes.
The BJP did not stop talking about how 27 OBC ministers are there in the Council of Ministers now. But one strong fact, if you talk about Kaushal Kishore, ex-Samajwadi Party leader. If we talk about SPS Baghel, ex-Samajwadi and BSP leader.
Right, Rahul.
He was at one time the OBC president of the BJP's OBC Morcha. Today he is an SC face. There are some weaknesses, but yes, attempts are being made by the BJP.
As Rahul was saying that under Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the sense was that BJP is largely an upper caste party which has the support of the upper caste. Now the BJP under Prime Minister Narendra Modi since 2014 has made very serious efforts to in fact get the OBCs, largely OBCs, SC, STs into their fold as far as the election arithmetic are concerned. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Rahul, for joining us. I'm just moving and staying with Uttar Pradesh. That a huge controversy just months before the elections in Uttar Pradesh, massive controversy once again. Politics, it has completely heat up the entire politics in the state of Uttar Pradesh. This time, Keshav Prasad, in fact, this time the Deputy Chief Minister has stirred this controversy by announcing a tribute to car sevaks who took part in the Ram Mandir agitation. Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya visited Ayodhya to unveil the statue of car sevak who died during the Mandir movement and announced that car sevaks who laid down lives for the Mandir movement will have roads named after them. The government will felicitate the car sevaks by placing their photographs as well.
आज हम लोगों ने यह भी एक घोषणा की है कि जो बलिदानी राम भक्त हैं, चाहे वो 30 अक्टूबर 90 हो, चाहे 2 नवंबर 90 हो, जो बलिदानी राम भक्त हैं उनके घर तक की सड़क को भी कार सेवक मार्ग के नाम से हम बनाएंगे और उसमें वह बलिदानी जो राम भक्त हैं उनका नाम भी लिखेंगे, उनका फोटो भी लगाएंगे.
जैसे ही चुनाव आता है भारतीय जनता पार्टी जाति धर्म की राजनीति का खेल शुरू कर देती है, लेकिन उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता इस बार बहुत होशियार है। वो काम के नाम पे वोट करेगी और भारतीय जनता पार्टी का खेल तमाम कर देगी।
Welcome back at 6 p.m. Prime this evening, coming to you from our buzzing newsroom. Now I want to shift focus to the national capital, Delhi, where in the last few days, few cases of crime have really put the entire Delhi police on high alert. I want to just play out these very shocking visuals which have been caught on camera. 4 armed men posed as electricians and barged into the residence in West Delhi's Uttam Nagar area. The robbers looted cash, gold ornaments worth lakhs. At gunpoint, the family was taken hostage and were tied using a tape while the thieves robbed the house. The robbers have not been caught yet. The Delhi police is analyzing the CCTV footage of the incident which took place on Wednesday to identify the accused. I mean, this is really, really scary. The visuals that are on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, while the Delhi police is on the job, and of course questions are being asked about the law and order situation of the national capital, but we also need to be very, very cautious of who we let in our houses.
गन पॉइंट पे जो है इनको धक्का मतलब पीछे हो गई है यहाँ पे, और गन पॉइंट पे इनको फिर मेरे साले को जो है वो बांध के उन्होंने नीचे टेप से जो है बांध दिया। ब्राउन कलर की टेप थी उनके पास चौड़ी वाली, उससे जो है उसको बांध दिया, और इसको वाइफ को भी मेरे वहाँ पे जाके बांध दिया, और मेरी मम्मी को भी एक हाथ और एक पैर बांध दिया।
दिल्ली के उत्तम नगर के इस घर में जो वारदात हुई है उसे देख सुनकर आपके रोंगटे खड़े हो जाएंगे। दिन दहाड़े दोपहर में 2:30 बजे के लगभग इस घर में जो बदमाश हैं वो आते हैं। परिवार में सभी को चाकू की नोक पर बंधक बनाया जाता है, उसके जमकर लूटपाट होती है। घर में 2 ये लेडीज थी, कुल मिलाकर 4 लोग थे, जिसमें 2 छोटे बच्चे भी थे। क्या हुआ था उस दिन, कैसे ये बदमाश आए और क्या पूरी वारदात हुई?
उन्होंने मुझसे कहा कि मैं इलेक्ट्रिशियन हूँ, आप लॉक खोल दीजिए, हमारी लिफ्ट ख़राब हो रही थी, तो मुझे लगा इलेक्ट्रिशियन आए होंगे। घर
के अंदर सीसीटीवी भी लगा हुआ है और बाकायदा ये जो लॉकर है, पूरा लॉकर से ज्वेलरी, कैश वो लेकर, ये देखिए ये इस तरीके से जो पूरा जो लॉकर है उसमें तोड़ फोड़, ये क्या क्या था सामान लेकर गए?
7-8 लाख कैश था और हमारी सारी ज्वेलरी थी, मदर इन लॉ की, मेरी शादी की, सब अभी तक की सारी ज्वेलरीज थी।
आपको बताऊं कि ये जो पूरा घर है इसमें सीसीटीवी कैमरा लगा हुआ है, और इस वजह से जो बदमाश हैं जो डकैती करने के लिए आए थे वो सीसीटीवी कैमरे में कैद हो गए।
I just want to remind our viewers that in just a short while from now, the first cabinet briefing of the newly minted ministers, and of course a completely rehauled ministry of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to start very soon. We are just in fact waiting for it to start, and we'll get you the latest of what has been decided in this cabinet, which has a number of new ministers. It might start anytime soon. We'll very quickly, in fact, also get you the details on that. Quick break at this moment. On the other side, we'll also focus on the rising number of COVID cases in Kerala. This is